Hi, I'm RT.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is Custer Wolfe Building a Watch Company.
Today we're going to talk about how we're adjusting our production plan based on the move and some of the things that have happened over the past month.
I think we have to answer everyone's burning question, which is, when are we going to 7 watches a week?
I don't know if that's a burning question.
It's my burning question.
But it is your burning question.
I've been asking it all the time. I think, so we decided a while ago that, we got from 5 watches a week in our Watch of the Day program. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Vortic Watch Co makes one new one-of-a-kind watch every day. We call it the Watch of the Day. We started Monday through Friday. We added Saturday, so that's 6 days a week a few months ago. When we went to 6 watches a week, obviously the plan is to get to 7 watches a week. That's 365 watches a year, rinse and repeat. That's really the business model for Vortic and our pocket watch conversions. But we decided to just kind of wait to see what happens with the move before we go to 7 watches a week, even though we're making that many, but before we release that many, just in case something goes wrong. And
Right.
Literally everything has gone wrong that could have. So I'm glad we did that. But do you think it's realistic that we move in late June, get settled in July, and maybe go to 7 in August? Is that feasible?
That's the plan. We've got personnel changes, a lot of variables happening right now.
Yep.
With the move and everything.
It's true.
We're hoping the move is only going to shut us down for 2 weeks, a week to prepare and then a week to actually execute.
Yeah.
So if that happens, I think we're going to be just fine. But regardless, we're going to have a little catch-up period because we're going to be listing watches over that move and not building watches, obviously.
Right.
So we're, like you said, August might be realistic. I think it's probably going to be more like September. We probably need a full month to catch up after losing those 2 weeks to get back in the swing of things. And we've got Kent starting, so he's going to need some training, and that'll slow Derek down a little bit. Things of that nature.
So maybe July is settling in, August is catching up, and then September is back to schedule.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Cool. All right. Well, obviously we'll keep everyone posted on these. We're going to try to do these episodes a little more often. So that'll be pretty cool. Once the move is again, it's always as soon as we actually move into this building, and we have at least one less variable, then we can do some other things. The other fun stuff though is, you've been working hard on 16 size. Pretty much everything we've sold now is 12 size, which are 46 millimeter. We're going to start coming out with more 16 size watches, which are 49 millimeters. And then we're reintroducing the Railroad Edition, which is super exciting. People ask us about it all the time. That's more of our high-end product. If you haven't heard of the Railroad Edition, railroad grade pocket watches turned into wristwatches. And so the 16 sizes and the Railroad Editions are just going to get mixed into the Watch of the Day process over the rest of the year and then going forward.
Yep. Yeah. If you've received one of our version 3 16 size watches, which a few customers have already, they were all built by me personally. So just this past week, I've been teaching Derek how to build the new version of our watch. There's some stuff to get figured out, but everything looks very cool. Everything is working.
Yeah, it's coming together, and we got working on all the different case colors now. I saw that the other day, so that's exciting.
And the Railroad's awesome because we used to make the Railroad watches. We kind of shut them down, just like the 16 size. The first version of our Railroad cases was so difficult to make. Bordering on we can't make them. They would take so much time, each and every one. But we've updated.
Sustainable.
Yeah, with our V3, basically, we can customize each case specifically for the movement inside of it. With our interchangeable setup that we have on the mills, we can make it perfect. So also reduced the diameter. We had a 51, maybe even 51 and a half for the old Railroad. So now they're down to 49 millimeters. More waterproof. Super excited for that because that was Railroad watches. That was the best America could do. That they put all of everything that they learned over the 100 years that they were making them into the railroad watches, because those were so important for timekeeping for the schedules on the railroad. So really, really excited to start making those again.
And you applied all of that R&D that you did for 16 size and railroad to the new military edition, which is going to come out, as always, November 11th. If you have followed us for years, we did something really special in 2020. Emphasis on the word special, and we are going to do something special this year on November 11th. And so if you're interested in the military edition, it's always the year to buy it, I think, because they're all really cool. But this year's coming out. We'll probably announce it at the Wind Up Watch Fair in late October in New York City. And then obviously, go live on November 11th at 12 noon like we always do. And got some special stuff coming this year. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And this year we did a redesign from the ground up again. If you probably noticed the last, what have we done, 3 editions of the military so far?
19, 20, 21, yep.
They look fairly similar. We kept the engineering pretty consistent between those 3 versions, but this year we updated everything to our version 3 engineering, fixturing, all of the above. So it's gonna be pretty neat.
Yeah.
A little bit different, and I think super cool.
I have one of the first ones from 2019, and so I've been meaning to ask if we can make an extra one for me this year. Otherwise, I'm probably going to take one of them because this new one is awesome.
I think I know a guy.
I'll keep working on it. The other thing that we wanted to share, just like production-wise and all this crazy amount of new stuff coming, is we've been working with Red Rocks Amphitheater here in Colorado. Because if you followed us for a really long time, 2017, 2018, we did a Red Rocks limited edition watch in partnership with the amphitheater. Gave watches to a bunch of artists that got inducted to the Hall of Fame, like Jackson Browne, Steve Miller, Jimmy Buffett. We got some cool experiences going backstage and meeting some of those people. STS-9, the Colorado Symphony Orchestra. Big Ed Todd.
Yeah, they have a watch.
Yeah. Bunch of cool people.
Yeah.
We got to meet and do Hall of Fame watches for Red Rocks. And we are in the contract process to do that for the next few years and keep doing that and make new watches with all of our new technology for Red Rocks. And so keep an eye out for that. Obviously, we'll I think in subsequent episodes we can show some of the behind the scenes, how we're making those and get some feedback on some dial designs and stuff like that. I think that'll be fun kind of process to show. But just excited to work with Red Rocks again. I mean, obviously, it's one of the most famous and beautiful amphitheaters in the world. And so just to be a fly on the wall in some of those creative processes is fun.
And maybe one fun tease of the product is we're going to attempt, I don't know that we're going to be able to do it, but we're going to attempt to incorporate actual red rock into the dial.
Yep.
Rocks from the amphitheater. So
unless the rocks just disintegrate.
Let's
try to make stuff from there.
We might kind of mix it up and disintegrate it on purpose, mix it up into a slurry, and then press it into the shape we want it to be, but TBD.
Yep, it's fun. As soon as we get that going, we'll keep you updated. But cool stuff with Red Rocks, which is technically managed by the city of Denver, so another big state of Colorado contract. So that's exciting. And then we got the mechanical products prototypes coming, and so first step on that is working on branding. We're doing logo design, picking our colors, our fonts, all that kind of stuff. And we need to find a designer to design the dial, at least the dial, maybe some help on designing other parts of the watch. But that's really exciting. And we're talking about starting with 2 models, one for each of us. And I forget how much we disclosed there, but I think the exciting thing and what we've been waiting for is the whole point of the new brand that we're building is let's make stuff that you and I want to wear. You know, not that we don't want to wear pocket watch conversions. Obviously, like, we love our original product. But if we were to make a fully modern watch for you that you would wear all day, every day, and for me that I would wear all day, every day, what would those two watches be? And so that's the origin. And you know, after we get those two done, then we'll just probably get a ton of feedback from the audience and make a third one and a fourth one and go from there.
Yeah, so the first watch using one of these modern FTS movement fine timepiece solutions will be the Red Rocks watch, like we were just discussing.
Yep.
And then the first watch in the mechanical lineup, the watch for me, quote unquote, is going to be a field watch.
Yep.
So rugged, attractive. You can wear it skiing, you can wear it jogging, you can wear it with a suit. Pretty kind of go everywhere watch, do everything. And then the other version is going to be a little bit fancier and a little bit cooler. But those are the two product lines after we finish the Red Rocks watch that we'll move into. Hopefully the Red Rocks watch teaches us, and those first actual mechanical watch company branded products are at a higher level because of that.
Yep. So yeah, that's really the business plan for the next, 12 months in a nutshell. I think the other thing that we've talked a lot about is just refining the current business model as much as possible. And you know, what we have for Vortic is ideally getting to 7 watches a week as soon as possible. That's 365 watches a year. Just keep doing that, and those are all pocket watch conversions of different sizes, 12, 16, and railroad pocket watches. And then we have our limited editions, like the military edition. We'll come out with other options sometime in the future, but right now that's our only limited edition, which is that military watch that comes out November 11th every year. And then finally we have our convert your watch process, or basically taking people's family heirloom pocket watches and turning them into wrist watches. And what we've talked about is like that process has always been kind of the last thing we think about. It's like, hey, we got to make the watch of the day, we got to make the military edition, and then like, oh crap, somebody sent us Grandpa's pocket watch, like we got to squeeze this in somewhere. And I think what we discussed, if you agree with the way I'm phrasing it, is like we're kind of flipping that, and we're saying like the point of the whole company is that we take pocket watches and turn them into wrist watches, and the number one frequently asked question is, hey, I got Grandpa's pocket watch, can you do that? Answer is obviously yes, but the way I describe it to people is it's a single point supply chain, and we have to follow your grandfather's pocket watch from start to finish through our whole process, versus our other stuff. It's just a hodgepodge of all kinds of different pocket watches coming in, and each one matters, but we don't have to track each one individually. We do them in batches, and it's just much more efficient. And that process, that heritage process and convert your watch process, has just always been really stressful to the production team. Yeah,
because like what you said, we can do it. We've always been able to convert a watch that somebody sends us. The question is how we do it, putting more standardization and effort into actually differentiating that as a different product. Because when you send us Grandpa's watch, you're not buying a watch. You're buying a service. Like RT said, we have, what do you call it, the single point
supply chain. Yeah.
Single point supply chain. So that means that one thing has to work. It's a bottleneck. It's difficult to do. It's with the watches of the day, we can cherry pick the best movements that we have that are going to work better once they're restored, that are easier to work with, that work best with our engineering system, all of the above. And when we get Grandpa's watch, I mean, why do we do what we do? We do what we do to preserve American history and make it relevant today. And I think that's really important to us. And it's hard enough to do that with Watch the Days, just the watches that we list on our website. But it's also really important to us to preserve people's personal histories when they do have Grandpa's watch.
Yep.
So the reason that we offer that heritage service, and the reason that we've always offered it, is because it's important to us. Unfortunately, it's like with the single point issues, it becomes really difficult, and it really messes with our production. And in the past, we've just kind of said yes, like I said, because we can. And a lot of people have used that kind of to their advantage and bought eBay watches, watches that aren't necessarily Grandpa's watch, which there's nothing wrong with, and we've always said yes to that in the past. Nobody's done anything wrong, but because this is a service, not a watch, and because the reason that we do it isn't necessarily to make money, it's because we believe it's important, we are going to start treating it a little bit differently.
Yep.
Less, so again, quality over quantity, first of all. So the people that we accept, we want to be able to give them the best experience possible. And we're going to add certain aspects to that experience to make it worth some extra money.
Yep.
But the idea is, if it's not a piece that's important to you, it's important to us to preserve your personal history if it is something that is meaningful to you. But if it's not meaningful to you, we are going to start redirecting people to our pre-built watches page.
Yep. And the way it's worked in the past is we have our Convert Your Watch page, and people send us an email or fill out our contact form and just send us pictures of the pocket watch that they want to convert. And then, we ask if they have any story behind it, if it's actually their grandpa's, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes we get answers for that, sometimes we don't, and it just hasn't been as relevant to us. And now, and we've done, 50 a year or something for the past few years, just kind of putting them in wherever we can based on just consistent demand. But we're getting overrun with demand for that service. Mm-hmm. I mean, like 5 requests. It's basically a request every day.
Or more.
To turn a pocket watch into a wristwatch and do that custom service, which if we actually did that, it would basically double the amount of watches, and we don't have the capacity to do that. And so realistically, we did the math, we can do one of those projects every couple weeks or so. And so I think the real number is like 20, 25 maybe. Mm-hmm. And we'll work on that, obviously, like we'll figure this out over time. But we're changing that Convert Your Watch process to almost like an application form to submit your pocket watch to work with us. And we're going to ask the story behind it. Was it your grandfather's? Was it your grandmother's? Was it great uncles? Like where did this come from? How much do you know about the family story? We love the story. We'd love to help tell that story too, if you're okay with that as a customer. And then in the past we've said 8 to 12 weeks or so for the custom process. But we firmly believe in under promise and over deliver. So now we're going to say 6 to 12 months. Mm-hmm. And you will put you in the queue. If we can do 20 some a year and you're 15, yeah, it's going to be almost a year, right? It's going to be 9 months till we figure that out. But we're going to deliver a service that's over the top. Mm-hmm. and document the whole process of restoring it and converting it. And if you remember the watch builder that we had in like 2018 time, the only way to access that customizable side of our business and the watch builder is through this Convert Your Watch process now. Mm-hmm. And we have that watch builder on the site. We take a photo of your family heirloom pocket watch, upload it into this visualizing software, and show you what it's going to look like before we even restore the movement and start the process. And that is such a cool service. And for all of those reasons, we're going to charge accordingly. And that service will be more expensive than our Watch of the Day watches, because we've realized it costs us, 3 or 4 times probably as much to make one of those as it does our Watch of the Day watches. And that's simply a process and a supply chain thing. And unfortunately, there's no one else that does what we do. So it's just something that, again, we're going to flip the script on it, and instead of kind of thinking about it last and just kind of squeezing them in where we can, we're going to focus on it and make it one of our top priorities. To say, all right, we can only do this many, so when we do it right, and we serve those customers with insane levels of quality and integrity.
Right, because let's be clear, like, we love doing this. We love working with customers to make them something that they're going to hand down to their children, something that's been handed down to them. I mean, it's such a cool service.
So cool. Yeah.
We just want to make sure that we can provide the level of experience and service that you deserve for a project of that importance.
Right. Yeah, because it's been sitting in, I mean, everyone that I talk to in that service, it's been sitting in a drawer for the last 50 years. And most people say, hey, take your time, it's all good. But we don't want it to go back to the drawer. You know, we want you to wear your family heirloom on your wrist and talk about it. Those customers, tell you what, are our best marketing tool.
Yeah.
Because they post on social media, they talk about us all the time. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's a family heirloom that was in a drawer, and now they get to wear it every day. So anyway, that's, I think, one of the biggest changes in our like production schedule, production plan. Just a renewed focus on that to convert your watch service, so that we make it more of a service and less of a product. And I'm really excited to kind of see the feedback that we get on that, and just serving those customers with that renewed focus. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So that's really, I mean, that's the business plan going forward for, you know, the next little while. And we got a lot of stuff going on, as you can tell. A lot of stuff coming. We're going to keep filming the whole process, keep coming back for these episodes. Can't wait for you to follow along. And yeah, that's it for this episode of Custer Wolfe Building a Watch Company. Make sure that you subscribe here on YouTube so you can watch along as we build all these watches and keep time the way we do. And then if you want to subscribe to weekly updates and find out when our next episode is and new products are coming out, go to vorticwatches.com, scroll down and sign up for our email newsletter. And we send that email every week to let you know what's going on. We'll see you then.